Yo,
Hello, hello.
hey. So it was a really good time, and I felt like a nil, and um, just drove home and got the car in the garage, and then I didn't want to do this, but I just kept getting like nudged by the universe or whatever, and I ended up like wiping down the car, so the car's like perfect, unloaded everything, and then um, and then I was super triggered last night. Like I couldn't, dude. It was such a joyful event, um, you know, um, to make like a friend in person. And and that, you know, like I couldn't sleep. Like I didn't even try to sleep. Like I didn't go to bed till 4.
Yeah.
And yeah, and I ate. I knew that was gonna happen. I was like, dude, I got home late. I didn't have any food made till like 10:30 at night. And I'm like, dude, I gotta eat. And um just had some music pumping and I loaded a bunch of pictures on Instagram. Thank you. The pass key works really good.
Right on.
It worked really good. Like I felt it last night. Like I was like,
Nice.
oh, dude.
I'm very happy.
Like, oh my God. I was like, dude, this is silk. I'm like, yeah, that was so nice. And, and then I feel your love in that, bro. Like I feel your support in that. And so that's in there too. Kind of gives me some like honey, bro, some like luxury. When I was like Instagram and I was like loading photos, so I wasn't as frustrated as I would have been. And like I'm like, huh, I sort of like Instagram. I'm like, huh, I think I could do something with Instagram because it's kind of fun that it's different than YouTube, right? So like I think
Yeah.
playing on Instagram is gonna get me better at YouTube. I think it's gonna relieve pressure for my
Hmm.
performance anxiety, and it's gonna allow me to psychologically be more creative. And the fact that I stayed up late was a little goofy, but oh, and then Petula called me and we had a really long, good talk. We were laughing. She is getting laid off, and
Mm.
um, and her homeostasis is to move to another city.
Oh,
That's
that's
her
weird.
home. That's her homeostasis. And she's
Yeah.
been doing that for like if I've known her for fucking 10 years, dude, 10 years, 11 years. She's been doing that for like 10, 11 years. Like she's moved multiple cities when I knew her. And then she got a psychological problem and then left this area because of that. Went to Seattle or some shit and then left there and I think went to like somewhere else and then is now in Idaho, Boise. And now she got let go of, so she wants like her homeostasis is to move again, but she's like 54. She's got a nice body now. Like she's always kind of had like a good body, but her body's like really nice now. And she's very conscious about like needing to have a nice body. And um, she really regrets not having children. She really regrets being a boss babe. She really understands now she like it would have just been better to be submissive. Like, look, all I had to do is be submissive. Like, I could have had a side job. I could have still done this. I could have still done that. I could have had a bunch of kids. The dude would basically like work for me.
Yeah.
Like, I don't have to go get my own paycheck.
Right.
And I do have to be cooperative to my boss. Why not just be cooperative to my husband? Because if I'm cooperative to my husband, not only do I get money, but I get to make the house the way I want it. I got all the time to make my home the way I fucking want it. And I've got time for kids, and I would be the center of their attention, like a lot. And I
Mhm.
would get to nurture and like guide them and show them things and be important to them, and then watch them learn and grow and love them and be able to like cuddle them. And then I have a husband who like is probably gonna adore me, and like fuck. And so but she's, homeostasis, allostasis, scared, like we all are, about relationships and stuff. And so, she wants to become like a big sister or like foster mom. And so she's got a license, a foster mom license. She's actually gone and done that. And,
Okay.
um, but now she's at this crossroads where her homeostasis is to go get a new job in a new city.
Hmm.
And this is a chick who's been, um, she, I told, like, we met in 12 step group, and she was like instrumental in helping me for like 6 months, but it was really high quality, or maybe like kind of like instrumental for 6 months and then overall good for like a year. Very, very helpful. It's like super important to me. And, but then since then it's been like nothing, and, or sometimes counterproductive. But, um, she, was living in boxes. Like I've been to her home. I like hung out with her in her room, and her clothes were in boxes. And in my self-help readings, I learned some people like don't feel safe. So like they keep all their shit in their in boxes because subconsciously, like they never know when they're gonna leave.
Yeah.
And right.
You
And
can
so I
still hear me,
talk,
right?
I can hear you.
Okay, good. Yeah, I switched over to my phone so that it has, my name and face so that it's not two of the same thing. It's less confusing that way.
Okay, cool. Um, but you're a host, correct?
Yes, I made my account on my phone host. Yes.
Cool. Okay. Yeah, because it asked me if I wanted to reclaim host. I'm like, nope. Um,
No need.
so yeah. So, so she has taken her stuff out of her boxes like a couple months ago. And I'm like, whoa, right? So I said to her, like I coached her a little bit, and I was like, well, it's I said, well, you know what's gonna happen? And she's like, what? And I'm like, well, you got a choice to make. Are you gonna pick comfort, or are you gonna pick change? And she's like, well, like, what do you mean? And I was like, well, for you, comfort is moving. You do it for like the last 10 years I've known you. Um, your pattern is to move. And so that would be you staying the same. Even though it's like up and moving, it's actually you being the same you've always been. The thing that would be different for you is to stay in Boise. That would be in a breakthrough. And I said, and your subconscious mind is going to freak out. It's going to tell you that you're ruining your life, that you're ruining your, future career. You're going to have a gap in your resume with your particular, career orientation, and that you're a big idiot. And every fucking thing like you could ever imagine is going to kick on. And you're going to think like, fuck, man, I don't need to be a foster mom. Like, that kid's not even going to fucking respect me. Blah, 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 blah. You're just going to come up with all of it. And the truth is, all of it's bullshit. Like, if you choose, um, to become a foster mom or big sis or whatever, and you have to, literally change, uh, industries, career industries, and do an industry you're unfamiliar with, um, and you're going to take a pay cut because of that. If you do that and you have like these foster kids or whatever, in 3 years from today, you would never fucking move. Like, no matter how terrified, how dumb, how pathetic, how gunky you feel, and all your feminist alarm bells are going to ring, even though I know you don't want to be a feminist and you're red pill now, but all those alarm bells are going to ring, like you're ruining your life and all this kind of stuff. That's all going to ring. But in 3 years from now, if you stay in Boise, that woman would tell the other woman who moved and got another job in some other city that she's an idiot. Because what do you now have? You're running and running and running. And the true growth at this point for you is to stay put and to get the love, to give the love and get the love in a wholesome way.
Mm-hmm.
And you're not going to get that as a 57-year-old in some other city again.
Yeah.
You need to set down some fucking roots, and you've come up with a way that you could do it by being this foster mom. Time to do it. And we'll see what you choose, because the exercise is what's comfortable versus what's uncomfortable. And
Mm-hmm.
so we'll find out what you choose. So like I left it like that. Like we'll find out what you choose. Like this is going to be a discovery. You know, if you pick growth, you're going to pick staying in Boise.
Yep.
And it should scare the shit out of you, but that's not because it's actually scary.
It's just because
It's
it's new.
yeah, yeah, because it's
Yeah.
allostasis. It's allostasis, so it's going to be scary.
Yep.
If it wasn't
Just
scary, it
out of the
wouldn't be.
box.
It's out of the box. Yeah, and then it'll become a new box, and that's
Mm-hmm.
what I was sharing with Jonathan yesterday. Was that no matter like when you do your changes, they're scary and terrifying. And then
Yeah.
what we do is we think the new reality we're working towards is going to be scary and terrifying. And the answer of all answers is wrong. It's not scary and terrifying. It's amazing and fulfilling.
Right.
What's scary and terrifying is change.
Mm-hmm.
And when you get the new reality, you're going to feel scared and terrified because it's change.
Correct.
But as you get accustomed to the new reality, homeostasis kicks in, and you're like, oh, yeah, it's normal.
Yeah. By the way,
And
speaking of
all,
Jonathan, we have him in here.
hey, cool, right on. And then when the homeostasis kicks in, it's normal and you feel fine, right? Because the position we're in today, mostly, okay, not always, right? We go through bad times. This too shall pass. Okay, King Solomon, this too shall pass, right? When I lived in my car, survived a fire, almost died of a fire. I'm living in my car for 9.5 months. I said every day, this too shall pass. And I worked all day and then I slept in my car all night. I worked in my car all day and I slept in my car all night. My car smelled like a fucking asshole, fucking dirty hamper. So I rented another car so I could sleep in one and work in the other just to like get the fucking smell out. It was bad. Um, and and this too shall pass. But the deal is that change is scary. But so wherever we are today, you know, not always, but 9 out of 10 times, it was something we wanted. And
Mm-hmm.
that was scary. That was scary. Like whatever we have was something we were afraid of at another time. Like you're going to the gym now. That was scary in the beginning.
Yep. It was scary to
And
go into the pool for the first time in 8 years.
Uh-huh. Yeah. So, I want to make sure that I don't talk. So I'm gonna stop talking on that. But um, that's something that's exciting me. I'm getting excited, and so yeah. So I was just scared yesterday. I went through a lot of fear yesterday and made the breakthroughs and made a new really amazing guy friend, and who cruises $400,000 cars, and I'm now gonna be
Made a
fucking.
boyfriend, did you?
I made a boyfriend. Got me a boyfriend.
Yeah.
I'm cheating on you, Jonathan. I got me a boyfriend. Got me a new boyfriend.
Yeah.
And he's younger than you, Jonathan. So, haha.
Yeah. A couple of days ago, I think it was actually Thursday. There was this older black guy that looked familiar. And I know why. It's because there was a time at the gym when the fucking sauna and the steam room were working.
Mm,
And there was this, somewhat fit, somewhat kind of chunky, uh, older black guy. He was bald with kind of a whitish beard.
mm-hmm,
Well, this guy, more muscular, but still definitely like muscular with a bit of chunk to him.
mm-hmm.
And he was bald with a white beard. So I was like, could be the same guy. So I walk up to him like, hey, are you the guy that I met in the sauna whenever it was down? He was like, I don't think so. And I was like, my bad. It was the whitish beard and being bald that threw me off. And he and the other dude that he was with instantaneously knew who I was talking about. So that was convenient.
Oh wow. Oh, so there's
Um,
another black homie that's got that look.
yeah. Yep, damn near the same look. Yep.
Okay. All right.
And so they knew exactly who I was talking about. And so I got to meet with them and stuff. I remember black guy's name was Mike, and I can't remember the white guy's name, but they were spotting each other and everything like that. So
Hmm.
I was
Cool.
vibing out. I'm
Nice, dude.
having a good time meeting people, talking to people, all that kind of stuff. So
Yeah, dude, it's so crazy how a little bit of good feelings goes a really long way. It's so
yeah,
relieving.
absolutely.
And then I'm putting on the reins on myself. Like I'm sort of kind of eating a little bit. Well, I'm eating without tracking today. I'm not tracking. And but
Okay.
um, I have cautioned myself earlier one time. I was like, okay, that's enough of that because I know from tracking, um, my portion was like, oh, okay, that's enough. Like
Mm,
if you add more to that, that would throw you out of your calories typically. So let's not do that.
yeah.
And then like right now, I had some. It's interesting. I had some popcorn and with some butter on it or olive oil, and some nutritional yeast, some sea salt, having a Zevia ginger ale with an added lemon, um,
Nice.
and then like a big bowl of mixed vegetables with two chicken patties. So I'm um, I'm sort of just kind of freeballing it today, and I know that I need to um, re I need to click back in to the discipline proper tomorrow. Um,
Hmm.
so yeah, so sleep got thrown off a couple times. Um, I got hit hard with dieting a little too correctly, so I learned that part. Um, and yeah, there's going to be some ups and downs to it, and
Always.
yeah, yeah. So um, I not going to be stoked to like look at the scale tomorrow. I may just not look at it. Like I may just go, um, do I need to see a number I don't like tomorrow? Um, or will I just make sure I apply the disciplines again for like 3 days? And you'll get that feeling in your body that you get when you're on lower calories, that biological feeling of like, whoa. And then make sure my hydration's on. Because in either case, like the scale doesn't matter. Um, you got to do what's right. That is what matters. So I may opt to just do what's right for a couple days and then weigh myself on Monday. And I dialogued with Chat. Chat's like, semi helping me with that. And then yeah, I did a little martial arts today, about 20 minutes um, of martial arts. Did about a half hour of like barefoot on wet cement to like get the energy grounded. And
Hmm.
and then Rico was supposed to come and do some work, and he lied. He said his father died today. He has these outlandish lies, dude. And um, and then he called me later, and I just didn't answer the phone. Like I know he's a liar and stuff, and that's part of like his psychopathy problem, but
Hmm.
it still bothered me. And I'm like, huh, it dropped my energy. I felt some sadness or some disappointment. Um, and so I was just, I was a bummer, and the guy can't keep his word on anything, and he needs to lie a lot. Um,
Hmm.
the good thing is he's not a thief of, not like a thief of stuff. That's not his MO.
Well, that's
He'll,
something.
that's something, right? So, and, but, you know, I talked to Chad about it. Chad's like, yeah, he views you giving him a second chance as you being weak. I'm like, fuck, wow. Um, so I'm gonna make a list of everything that needs to get repaired and improved. Um,
Hmm.
we'll see. I'd like to probably do, you know, a little something pretty consistently, whether it's like an hour or two here or there, but like per week. Like, so chat's been really helping me break the habit of all or nothing. And
Hmm.
like, yeah, I can do like 20 minutes of handyman work or an hour or whatever. I can bebop it along. And if I have a list, I can just cross items off the list. Go with my feelings a little bit, like feel out which one I'd like to do, or which one I feel is not gonna, fuck me up or anything psychologically. It's not too hard to do or whatever. That I'm in the right headspace for, and
Hmm.
just kind of chip away at the life tasks of the apartment building, and that gets a breakthrough in procrastination. Like now I'm not procrastinating, and I'm also not perfecting. But that psychological energy takes a like great effort, because once I get started with something, I want to just keep going and try to pile as much shit on as I can. And that's how you get your life spun out. And if you're a drug addict, you take methamphetamine and like work like 3 days in a row like that. And you get a million things done, and then like, you don't sleep for 5 days, and then you fucking sleep for like 4 days, and like that's what those
Yeah.
construction people do when they get in that mode. And it's like, no, work with a list, understand you're imperfect, be proud of the thing you got done, slow it down, breathe, break the psychological cycle. Don't be a slave to your neuroanatomy. and and then shift mode and get into a good mood for nighttime, and prepare to sleep, and like settle into your life. It's like having a conscious life um, is it's a big deal. It's allostasis. Kind of. I think it's on. I think having a very conscious life is ongoing allostasis.
Yeah.
And now more than ever, whoever can afford to be in allostasis is going to have is going to be like quote unquote alive. And people who rely on homeostasis, they're fucked
Yeah.
because the world's changing so fucking much.
hmm Yeah. I
They're
mean, it,
fucked.
it kind of mirrors our technological advancement, right? It's like
Hmm.
not only is technology advancing, it's advancing faster.
Hmm. Hmm.
So,
I'm really becoming conscious of like black pilling is like the new normal.
hmm it
Very much getting
seems to
conscious of
be.
that. Hmm. But that's just America. Like people in other countries, they don't feel the same way because, you know, of other reasons and stuff.
hmm
So since we don't have something that centers us per se, I look at us kind of like we're not like Apple. Like America's not like Apple. America's like PC and Android. It's like a bunch of different parts that don't always work that well together. And you have to put like maybe you can make your shit super dope. You have to be really invested. You can't sort of just
hmm
plug. You can't just sort of plug and play.
Yeah.
Like if you grow up in Thailand and you get your shit together, you can plug and play, and you're going to do great.
hmm
Um, all the Chinese couples, they're all together. There's all these together couples. I always see these romantic Chinese couples around where I live, and they just sort of plug and play. And because they got the grandmas and the grandpas yelling at them, "Hey, you fucking 22-year-old fuck, you need to have 3, 4 kids. Let's go." And so they just got to plug and play. And us Americans, one of the reasons why we have so much self help literature is because our religion isn't. We don't have one religion really, and technically we never did, right? Because we were always going to be mixed with the Native Americans to some extent, and they're shaman.
hmm
They're shamanic, and then there's all the different types of Christianity and some Judaism, um, and some African stuff and some shamanic African and all that, and Caribbean shamanic type shit. Um, and then when the Chinese came over, like in the 1850s in California, they brought their religions, and like, well, we were never really going to have and then we never really had a solid English either, right? Because there was always going to be Italian, French, Gaelic, Dutch, like all back in the day, and then a bunch of Latinos with different types of Spanish, and different types of Chinese, and you name it, and Yiddish and Hebrew, and like there's just so many. So we're so different that it's not really a plug and play country.
Right.
So we have to create ourselves.
hmm
And those of us that put in that effort or we grew up very orthodox, where like this subculture for them was plug and play. It's either those that really put themselves together or like the orthodox people. I think that um, that make a go of it, and then everyone else is just like whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, I was actually watching a video by I think he's a psychologist. I'm not quite sure. Um, but he based off the way he was talking, he was a little leftist, but he's not like dumb leftist. It's like
Hmm.
he has a little bit of logic in him. Um, and kind of the analysis that he was talking about was in the US, when you go back to like the like 30s up until like the 80s, it was really plug and play.
Hmm. Hmm.
Um, because it was just set up for you, right? It's like you go to school where you're forced to interact with women. You go to work, and increasingly that would force you to interact with women. You would go to church or whatever other, worship you would go to, mainly church, um, where you would be forced to interact with women. And like it would just by default give you this level of exposure therapy, um, so that you weren't like hyper stressed out, being
Hmm.
around women. And it also kind of taught you the more, back and forth signal of like, you look up at her, she catches you, you look away, you look at her, she was looking at you, and she looks away, blah, 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 all that kind of BS. And then eventually, you go up, introduce yourself, and blah, 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 all that kind of stuff. And, you were kind of forced into learning that, right? Because that's just you were in that environment.
Okay, so how did that stop?
He claims and he thinks it is the onset of working from home and COVID.
Oh, he's a fucking idiot. Dude, this has been going on. Where's he from?
I don't know. He's not white, um,
Okay.
but he speaks extremely clear English.
Hmm.
So I'm willing to bet he was born here. Um, but he is a bit leftist, I will say. There were a couple of things distinctly that he said. I was like, the
Well, he
fuck are
said
you talking
COVID.
about?
He said COVID.
Yeah. I mean,
Like,
outside of
oh,
that, there was a couple of like more feminist type things that he said that caught me off guard.
right. Okay. So it's what he didn't say, and it's what he did say. He said COVID is the reason, pretending 2 years of not interacting with shit fucked up male female dynamics. Um, but then he said from the 30s to the 80s, I'll tell you, I grew up in a leftist area, and they're telling us in fourth grade and fifth grade, um, women need men like a fish needs a bicycle. And I literally had a picture of a fish like trying to like not like trying to ride a bicycle, like a cartoon fish riding a bicycle. And I didn't quite understand what it meant because I saw the fish riding the bicycle, and like it had a split tail and it was like riding along and shit. Um, but it was the energy behind what they were saying, and the teacher was encouraging the girls to run around the room like it was kind of like a free time. Like maybe it was like raining outside and we were doing some like little like paper mache project type bullshit, and everyone was going to each other's desks and the girls were all chanting, um, girls need a women need a man like a fish needs a bicycle. And that was fifth grade. I was born in 74. So that was 84 or 83 or something.
Mhm.
And I was being told I'm not needed and that I'm a misogynist if I become a husband in fifth grade. So and you could feel the mean energy, and they were laughing and dancing and singing it and like sticking it in our face, like nah 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 nah. They're doing all that, and the teacher was encouraging them, and female teacher, lesbian
Of
led,
course.
lesbian led school, all female teachers, no male staff except for the janitor, and um and so it really hurt me. And I remember saying to myself, uh, well, you need us for like money. And they're like, no, we don't. No, 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 no. And I remember making a decision, and I voiced it. And I said, really, really? And like I was always talking with the teacher, and I was like, really, really, whatever her fucking name was. She got fired because she was hitting us too much. She was violent, and she got fired for like child abuse in the classroom. And um, so I said to her, so you don't need man's money? No, because we have our own job and we're independent, and like we, time for that. And like now is the time for female power. Like men's time of strength is done. Now it's the time of female strength. And I was like, well, can't both of us be strong? No. Now only women are strong. Strength is for women. And um, and I remember telling my dad, and he was, oh, there's just a bunch of cunts. And I was like, yeah, but it's fucking me up mentally. I told him that, and he goes, oh, well, just deal with it, son. Just fucking deal with it. And it was like devastating to me because I told the teacher, I said, okay, well, I'll be sure to not make any money and never give money to women my whole life. And dude, I have kept to that promise like 97%. I haven't given money to women. I've never spent money on dates with women. Never, I think I bought either 3 drinks or 5 drinks my entire life for women. And I did make out with one of them for the drink. It was a deal. We made a deal. And like I kept to that promise. And that was from fifth grade. And that was also when I was like, well, I'll make sure that I'm only loved for me instead of my money, which is like a feminine idea. It's a feminine
Hmm.
idea to be like, I want to be loved for me. That's a feminine idea. Um, and right. So, I mean, because that's what you hear women say. I don't want
Yeah.
him to just want to fuck me. He's got to like me for me. Right. Okay. And, so that's a feminine idea. And, and so anyways, he is pretending, and he said 30s to 80s. Well, that was like 84, where I lived in Burlingame, California, 20 miles away from San Francisco. And um, the feminist movement was a big rage. And then in the early 90s, I went to a feminist rally, and I was attacked by 7 or 8 people immediately, and called a misogynist and all kinds of stuff. And all I was doing was being good looking with muscles. That's literally what happened. So the chick started this nasty pig of a woman, like a boar of a woman. She fucking snarled up and was pushing her tusks into me, and I was like, "What are you doing?" And she's like, get out of here, you nasty fucking man. And I was like, what? I'm sorry. Oh, you have me mistaken. I'm not who you think I am. Like, I'm sorry. Uh, it's some other dude with long hair. It's not me. And and then she was like, no, it's you. And I was like, I've never met you. Like, I'd remember you. Like, I don't know you. And she goes, well, why are you saying all these terrible things about women? And I said, what am I saying? She's like, you're literally screaming obscenities about women. And I said, no, I'm not. I'm saying the chant that everyone else is saying. And I remember clearly feeling like I wanted to belong to something. And so I was like, yeah, I guess this is a good cause. And Americans were always like trying to fight for liberty of some type. Like, I guess this is like the times. So I went to this rally and I was chanting with everybody else. But I'm a really good chanter. And I got muscles and I look good and I had long hair and earrings and I was dressed really well. And so, you know, her brain was hearing me scream obscenities and I was saying word for word the same chant and very like for it. And when I was saying the chant, I was literally thinking of the abuse my dad had put onto me and women around. And
Hmm.
so I was believing what I was saying. And so I finally said to her, like, look, I am a fan of women and I am here to be part of the solution. And then she's like, um, well, right before that, she said, you could just see that he's a misogynist. And I was like, oh, like, how? And she goes, well, just look at you. And I was like, what do you mean? Like, I felt objectified. I'm like in a way of I'm nasty, not I'm attractive. And I was like, well, what do you mean? She goes, well, look at you. Look at your hair. And I was like, I don't have a buzz cut. I don't look like a military guy. I've got long curly hair. And I had it in a I had it in a scrunchie. So like a lot of dudes would call me a fag, right? I had my hair in a scrunchie. And and um and she's like, well, look at your muscles. And I was like, oh my, and I fucking got cocky. I was like, what? I was like, what? I got like a half smile, like, what the what? My muscles? What about like what? First, like, I don't think I'm that built, but like, what about my muscles? Like, she's like, well, why do you have them? I'm like, what? So I could be strong, so I could look good, so I'm attractive, so I can protect myself. Like, I'm young. Like what? Like, don't you want to be your best? And I looked at her and I was like, oh, you're fat, ugly, disgusting. Like, I hadn't been judging her until then, and I said, I don't think you should be talking about how I look because I'm not going to talk about how you look. And I was already feminist, so I was like, we're not supposed to talk about how people look. Like, I don't understand why you're doing that. Like, I don't know what happened to you. Like, I know some bad shit happened to me. I don't know what happened to you, but I'm sorry for whatever's happened to you. And I'm not your enemy. I'm on your side. And she goes, okay, well, if you're on women's side, you need to go to the back of the rally and be quiet and preferably just like put your head down and just be quiet. I was like, what? I was like, what? I was like, whoa. And she was like really clear. She was very, very clear about it. And that like that's how I can support. And I was like, uh, are you telling me to like go to the back of the bus? Like I literally can't be in the front of the bus. And I remember I forget. I used to know it. The chick who was like the black chick who refused to sit in the back of the bus,
Rosa Parks.
Rosa Parks. I was like, are you like, we don't do that in this country. Like that Rosa Parks, like you want me to like Rosa Parks sit in the back of the bus because I'm in the front of the rally? I'm like, and you want me to not talk? Like you don't like I talk all day, all night. So I've gotten 1,000 detentions in my life for talking in class. So why would I listen to you if I wouldn't even listen to my teacher? Like, there's no way I'm gonna put my head down and go to the back of the bus. Like, why would you like what is wrong with you? And then she's like, oh, that's it. That's it. And she grabbed multiple dudes and said um, that like I'm a evil misogynist or something because within 5 seconds I was getting shoved by like 10 people. And I was getting shoved in different directions. I was even getting shoved from behind. And they were right up on me because it was a really big protest and there's no space. It was like being in a concert. And I was like, whoa, whoa, please stop. And and I was like, dude, you're hurting me, you're scaring me. And they're like, I saw some rage in some of them when I said that I was scared. And I saw the micro expressions of some snarls kick on in some of the dudes. And the women were behind them, like pushing the guys to do it. And then I
Hmm.
was like, oh my God, I'm going to get mobbed if I don't use my martial arts right now. Holy shit. And so I like stiffened up and like stood tall and I fucking was like, don't fucking touch me. And they're like, "Uh," and I was like, hey, I'll fucking kill you. And they're all like, huh? I was like, you, huh? And like I went into fucking martial. I'm like, you don't like fucking muscles? And I was like, I fucking man the fuck up. And then they all formed like a big circle and no one would get near me. And I was like, hey, you. And I pointed at the chick. I go, because of you and everyone here, and I made everyone listen and everyone listened to me. I said, everyone here, I am no longer a feminist because of you and because of all of you listening to her. I came here to support women and you guys attack me. And they all were quiet. They wouldn't say a fucking word. And I was like, you all failed today. I was on your side. This is wrong. What you guys are doing today is wrong. It's abusive. It's hurtful. And you are not for women. You're for something else. I don't know what you're for, but this is not it. You all should leave here. This is wrong. And I was like, make a path or I'll knock people out. Let's go. I'll do it. I'll do it. How dare you fucking, you know what kind of abuse I've been through? If you, any of you knew what kind of abuse I've been through, you would never fucking touch me. Ever. None of you have been through what I've been through. You're all fucking liars and fake. Move out of my way. Make a space. You make a space for me, or people are going to get hurt. And they made a space for me, and I walked out like a fucking king, like a fucking king. And I like got in my car, and I just like couldn't believe it. And someone followed me to my car, and I was like, what? Oh, I just wanted to see that, made sure that you got to your car okay. I'm like, really? Yeah, I'm sorry what they did for you. They shouldn't have done that. I was like, but why would they do that? Well, they're just like very upset and misguided. I was like, but I'm here to support women. I'm like, do you know why, how that started? No, I don't. I go, because she said I had muscles. She literally doesn't, like, you don't have muscles like I do, bro. If you had muscles, you would have got treated the same way I got treated. She literally told me it's because of how I looked, it's because I have muscles. She said I had muscles in order to intimidate women. And she was immediately able to get 10 people to attack me immediately. And I'm like 19 years old, or I was like 18 years old. I was on my way to work. I was going to do hardwood floors, and I was on my way to work, and I saw this rally, and I was like, "Fuck work! I'm gonna go pull over and go check this out." And I'm like, he's like, "Dude, I'm really sorry. Like, don't give up on women." I'm like, "Yeah, I don't understand, man. Like, I go, you need to be safe. You need to be careful because she told me to go to the back of the protest and just stand there and be quiet." And he's like, "Well, like that would be respectful." I was like, "No, dude, it's not, bro. That's what the black people stood up against. Why would I subject myself to that? No one should go through that. We're all equal, man." I'm like, oh, and she also accused me of only being at the rally to fuck girls. She also said that. And I was like, yo, I fuck enough girls on my own. I don't need to be here to fuck girls. Like, I'm good. So,
Yeah.
so that's what that guy, that's what that guy's tripping on. He's pretending the fact that Kevin Samuels was really good. He pointed out he got some women to admit that they were female supremacists.
Yeah.
Yeah, he got some to admit it, that they were 100% female supremacists.
It's impressive.
Mm-hmm.
He was a very impressive individual.
Mm-hmm. So like I don't agree with his idea. Like, did COVID like support people in being separated? I don't know. I know that I worked on Uber, and I brought a lot of girls to boys' houses and a lot of boys to girls' houses during COVID.
Hmm.
And I saw more togetherness in men and women during COVID than I did before.
Mm. His main point that he was making is that there's a lot of guys online that are saying, like, I've tried everything to, you know, um, talk to women, all this other kind of stuff. And then there's another group of people, and he says, from his experience, it's like 50-50 between the two. Um, where one group is saying it's impossible to talk to women. They're never around. Like they just don't fucking exist. And when they do exist, they're rude. Um, and then there's another half where they're like, "What do you mean? They're fucking everywhere." Like I casually talked to like 8 women today. You know, uh, Differing between platonic and like me trying to pursue them, blah blah blah, all over the place. And so his assumption is that there are people that are in these like holdover communities where they just kind of, you know, get defaulted around a lot of women. And then there's these other guys that are stuck outside of the community, where they have to adapt to be able to go out and find women because just their, you know, communal lifestyle doesn't just put them in front of them.
My communal lifestyle doesn't put me in front of women unless I'm at the gym
Right.
or unless I
But to
go to
where
the
somebody
cafe on
where
Sunday.
Yeah, but to where, for example, like a Jew that, gives a ton of his time to, their community, right? Because,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
like
Oh
the
yeah.
the really Orthodox Jews, they're around their community a lot.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And there are, Christian guys that are the same,
Mm-hmm.
Christian men and women that are the same, that give a ton of their time, like their entire lifestyle is around the church. And so,
Mm-hmm.
like, this is how a lot of people used to be. And there were a lot of holdover communities before the whole COVID thing. But then a lot of churches, just haven't picked up numbers again. And a lot of these holdover communities have died off. And
Hmm.
so he's thinking that because of a lot of these holdover communities dying off because of COVID was his assumption, um, that a lot of these people that all they've ever known is them being forced into these social situations, they're not forced into these social situations anymore. And so now they have to learn to adapt to force themselves into social situations, figure out where these people are.
Okay. So this is what okay. So wow, big genius. Figured out some guys aren't around girls. Okay.
Hmm.
Now the second one is big idiot because what he's talking about is stalking women. See, let's go with the feminist narrative. A predatory male is using psychological warfare to hunt his game and figuring out where target rich environments are so that he can sexually objectify and harass and bully women in spaces that were prior safe. That's what people on his side think about what he's saying at different times in the last decade.